You know, it's a story that plays out in offices everywhere. You've got a star performer, your best salesperson, your sharpest engineer, you name it. So what do? You promote them to manager. It seems like the obvious, logical next step. But then, it all starts to fall apart. So what's going on here? Let's dive into this thing called the promotion paradox.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You've just given your top person a big reward, more responsibility, more pay, and suddenly their performance tanks, and their new team is floundering. It's a super common problem, and it costs companies a ton of money and talent. And it all boils down to one fundamental, and I mean fundamental, misunderstanding.
Here's the thing, and it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. Being a great player and being a great coach are two totally different jobs. The skills that make somebody an absolute rock star as an individual contributor, well, they often just don't translate to being a good manager. It's a whole new ballgame.
And you can see that shift right here. On one side, you have the individual contributor. Their whole world revolves around what they can do, their technical skills, their personal results. But then you flip over to the manager side, and suddenly it's not about you anymore. Your success is now measured by how well you support your team so that they can get great results. It's a massive shift from me to we.
And with that we comes a whole new set of responsibilities that can feel pretty alien. It's not about doing the work yourself anymore. Now it's about planning, budgeting, measuring. And the big one, the one that trips up so many people management. You're dealing with different personalities, you're playing mediator, you're having those awkward, difficult conversations about performance. These are skills your star performer probably has zero experience with.
Okay, so how do we avoid this trap? How do we stop setting our best people up to fail? The answer isn't to stop promoting them. It's about being way, way smarter about how we do it. And it really just comes down to a clear two-part process.
First, and this is non-negotiable, you have to assess if they're even a good fit for management before you offer them the job. Don't just assume. Use objective, scientific tools. And second, if they are a good fit, you absolutely have to give them formal training. You've got to build the skills they need for this completely new role.
So what are these scientific tools? A perfect example is something called a job fit assessment. See, instead of only looking at past performance, it measures a person against a proven model for success in that specific role. It really asks three key questions. Can they do the job? That's their thinking style. How will they do the job? Those are their behavioral traits. And maybe most importantly, will they even enjoy doing it? And that comes down to their interests.
All right, enough with the theory, let's make this real. We're going to look at an actual case study of a fantastic employee who's up for a promotion. This is where the rubber really meets the road.
So let me introduce you to M.A. M.A. is an absolute star in her job as a customer service representative. I mean, she knocks it out of the park every single day. By all the traditional metrics, she is the poster child for a promotion to customer service manager.
And hey, the data from her job fit assessment totally backs this up. Look at this, an 87% overall match for her current role. Her behaviors are nearly perfect at 95%. Her interests are a 90% match. She is thriving because this job is a fantastic fit for who she is naturally. No wonder she's a star.
So we know she's a great rep. Total no-brainer for that promotion, right? Well, not so fast. Does being a great representative automatically mean she'll be a great manager? Let's see what the assessment says when we match her against the manager profile.
Okay, at first glance, 80% overall fit, that seems pretty good, right? Her thinking style and behaviors are still really strong. But then, look at that third bar. Her interest match plummets from 90% all the way down to 62%. That, my friends, is a massive flashing red light. This is exactly why that interest score is so critical. It answers the question, will they stay motivated? A low score like this suggests that while MA can physically do the manager's job, she'll probably start to feel demotivated and unhappy really fast because the day-to-day tasks just don't align with what she genuinely enjoys doing.
And when we dig into the details, you can see exactly why. The manager role requires higher assertiveness, for dealing with those tough performance issues. But MA's natural style is less assertive. And even more telling, look at the interests. The manager role is all about financial and admin tasks. MA is driven by enterprising, sales-type activities, and helping people directly. There's only one overlap. She'd be spending most of her day on stuff that just doesn't energize her.
Now, this data doesn't necessarily scream don't promote MA, but what it does scream is you can't just throw her in the deep end and hope she figures out how to swim. This data tells you exactly where she's going to need support, which brings us to that second absolutely critical part of the solution: training.
I absolutely love this analogy. Promoting someone without training them is exactly like building a house. You wouldn't skip the foundation, right? Because you know that without that solid base, no matter how nice the rest of the house is, it's just not going to survive the first big storm. And that's precisely what formal training is. It's the foundation. It's not a perk or a nice to have. It's essential. It gives a new manager a safe space to practice those difficult conversations, to build new skills, and to get their footing before they're faced with a real crisis on their team. It gives them a blueprint for success.
So, that leaves us with one final question for you to take back to your own organization. Are you just promoting your people based on their past success, and then kind of crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? Or are you truly preparing them to lead by first assessing their fit and then building the right foundation for their success? The answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.